I'm Rusty Ray in Golden Valley, and I'm joined by the city's Equity and Inclusion Manager, Seth Kempfer. Nice to see you, Seth.
Nice to see you as well.
Equity, inclusion, diversity in the news lately.
That's
on
absolutely.
A large scale, on a national scale, and certainly a lot of headlines there. But the city of Golden Valley has been operating under its equity plan now, going into its second or third year.
Yeah, for its current iteration. So it's had an equity plan since really actually 2017. And then once it hired on an equity and inclusion manager, so there was someone before me, it formalized a little bit more. And so part of my responsibility as the equity and inclusion manager is to oversee that plan, but also to evaluate, bring it forward to council so that they can take a look at that and reiterate a new plan. Used to be annual, now it's about 2 to 3 years of a plan.
And very briefly, this guides a lot of things, the way the city approaches all aspects of what it is the city does.
Absolutely, yeah. So what it does is there's a couple of components to it that take a look inward. So this plan is much more inward facing than it is externally facing, and really takes a look at how are we making sure that our services and our resources are accessible to community, that they're providing additional opportunity, but also taking a look at are we creating any disparities or inequities with what we're doing, and addressing those from the front end to make sure that we have more and stronger and dynamic impact on the back end.
And as this continues on and as it continues to gain momentum and has already built a lot of these practices here at City Hall, what are we looking forward to now as we're into 2025? Are we looking ahead even more?
Yeah.
And what kinds of things are we talking about?
So we're looking at building out and implementing a diversity, equity, and inclusion learning and development program. So employees will be able to have dedicated time to learning how does equity find its way into their role. And then also looking at building our intercultural skill set. So how are we better communicating with communities that don't look like us, that don't operate like us? And how are we also communicating better with each other as employees? So building a stronger internal culture too.
And so it's that foundation that's already been in place, talking since 2017, and all the things that have happened and all the ways that programs have been implemented that lays the foundation to then have those conversations.
Absolutely. And bringing those conversations out to the community as well. So over the past 2 months, we did some information sessions to provide updates about the equity plan. That's something that I find is really imperative, is that this plan is built to create a better local government that will have better impacts to our community. So they need to be aware of what has been the progress. And we had some really wonderful community members show up, provide their input about what should come next, and just their insight of how they're feeling about what this plan currently looks like in its current implementation.
And there's some events you said in May coming up?
Yeah, so we actually have a postcard series that's going out called Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion is You. So the community should expect some postcards coming to their mailboxes. One will say diversity is you, one will say equity is you, and the third will say inclusion is you. And then on the flip side will be some QR codes to participate in crafting an equity vision statement for our community that's informed by our community, instead of me creating one that may not actually resonate or be appropriate, that our community is crafting it, and then we can present that to council.
Yeah, you really need those voices.
Absolutely, and then community voice is so imperative to the point where another piece of the equity plan is developing out a equitable community participation toolkit for all of our departments to use, and so that they can have better community input and better community impact. Yeah.
Okay, the equity plan continues on and building things here in Golden Valley.
Absolutely, and one thing I want to make sure that we do note is that although it's the equity plan, there's other things that are happening across the city that are embedding equity, which includes our Collaborative Solutions Grant, where our community specialist is reaching out to community and asking for input about policies, police policies, and then looking at information together about how we can do expanded and response for our public safety.
Okay, all right. Seth Kempfer here at the City of Golden Valley. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
For more city stories, check out ccxmedia.org or find us on social media.